Very well, a very warm welcome. If you just joined us right here on Smart 24 TV, you're watching SMB. My name is Ritah, Kabanyoro with Jorram post Ssonko. Ssonko, how was your weekend?
My weekend was a bit hectic, if I am to put it in that way.
You lost business?
No, I didn't lose business. I didn't lose business, but it has been a hell of a weekend, if I am to put it in that way. A number of events have been happening here and there, but yes, we managed to get through it.
Okay.
And here we are again. And thank you for joining us. If you just joined us here on Smart Means Business, I'm Jorram Ssonko. That is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
Surely.
Well.
Under Twitter, Kabanyoro on social media platforms. Catch me there. For now, let's now head into what we call how you can actually successfully drive your successful idea that you've got right now, that you're thinking about, or something you have established but it's still in swings. So we're going to be driving it together for this particular minute. Let's dive into our business tips. We're still referring to 100 business successful entrepreneur advisors from over 100 and more successful businesses across the globe. And now we're heading into our 90th one, moving around.
And it actually says sitting for an extended period may lead to undue stress. So maybe moving around in a business is try to move around and sketch and try to look at new ideas as well. Because if you're in, for instance, if you're working in Nagu, you should start moving around, maybe in neighboring areas, Bukoto, try to look out in Tinda and see how these people are actually running their own business. Also, not only moving around in that perspective, but it can actually reduce some stress of you, because over sitting in one particular place, you tend to get dormant. And your brain is not, thinking at a very high rate, and you're not having any new ideas in you. But the more you move around, so like during COVID,
you were moving around.
I used to move around maybe during evening times. You just to move around and see how people are running their lives, and it adds something onto you.
Yes, and previously we were telling you about, taking frequent breaks and also moving around, exercising around your kind of way of work, helping you to cut calories, and also as well as helping you meditate, relax, and surely your day will keep on going or moving on very successfully. But moving on to our next one, which is removing distractions. Paul, take us through on how entrepreneurs or people in businesses can remove distractions from their line of work.
Wow.
Have you had a distraction before? Maybe we can take it from your experience.
There are a lot of distractions.
I don't mean relationship.
In most cases, it's relationship distractions when it comes to work. How does, in fact, this does not even differ, but it always depends on a human being and what your relationship is about. And because in most cases you would find out that someone has a problem at work, but their problems are actually if you were to trace them, they're way back from maybe a home setting, or someone who is a bit related to them in a way, maybe mutual understanding between them, and it actually creates a very big problem to most of these people, and it becomes somehow difficult to remove these distractions, because most people find a very big problem when you're to move a distraction. And maybe if I am to put it in a way that you may find a businessman having a distraction as a family is a big distraction. In a way. I'm coming.
Okay.
In a way, it may not be a distraction in a wrong way, but when it comes to business and you're all about you start thinking about how is my wife, my children, so all
maybe that businessman or woman, woman or lady is in love at that particular moment.
So it becomes some distraction again.
So love is distraction in our businesses.
In most cases. And then there is friendship. Friendship also becomes distraction. In most cases, it's actually friendship. Because one, there are certain things you're going to limit yourself from doing because you want to keep your business entity. Or you may end up focusing more on your friends just because you don't want to lose them while your business is losing at that expense. So you could see the distractions mainly are things that are close to us.
And for me, I think most of the distractions come through to our way when we are in the line of successful of success.
During that venture, you
yes, like for example, when I'm struggling, I mean, no one on my side, people are not willing, to come your way or help you out. First of all, those are human distractions, like friends and relationship distractions that we're talking about, come especially when we are successful or when there are signs or like these days we have red flags, but red flags are for the negative. So when you see red flags or, okay, this time white flags coming your way because you're going to be successful, some deal is hitting up, or your business is moving, that's when you have friends start calling you, and then remember you're busy, you're not giving attention, so they start pulling you back when you when you don't have someone to help you to go through that. That's when they become distractions, friends and relationships. But when we're struggling, the distractions that we have in our businesses are on finance, are on family balances that you were saying earlier. So you see people at home, they're crying out for you. You're the person, you're the breadwinner providing everything, and at that particular moment you don't have, or there is nothing you can actually put there because you're struggling. And so you tend not to concentrate at work, like you were saying, whether you're a service provider, whether you are a productive entity. So you tend to be thinking, people are crying out at home every time maybe your woman is calling or your wife is calling, the bills have gone off. So those are the kind of distractions. But how can people move on, Paul?
Actually, another distraction is doing the same thing over and over again.
Okay.
Because one of the examples they're giving in this particular one is you may be tempted to surf the internet or check your social media pages on a daily. And it's
the
stuck in your mind,
tweet addicts.
You tweet addict, you want to be on the Instagram always. So every time you're going to sleep or you're going to do something new, your brain takes you to opening up your social media accounts. And social media is quite addictive in a way that once you open it, I think it's only data, or if at all someone calls you for an emergency, unless when you're going to limit yourself. But in most cases you'll still scroll because everything you're scrolling is interesting to you, and you feel like no, I still need to see.
Yes,
and it becomes a major distraction to most of the people.
Especially to students here on social media when they tend to go back home, maybe university students. Yes, we need it for research students. Or high school students. But I'm telling you, when they get the smartphone, when they go on the internet, they don't want to leave the excitement of what's happening on, what's your favorite, TikTok? Yes,
because, whatever's happening,
on TikTok.
Yes, and someone doesn't want to, every time you're scrolling, you're seeing.
But how can they move on as we move on from a distraction
with the distraction, I think mainly it is about you as a person.
Okay.
In most cases, it is just like an addiction. Addiction, people will tell you addiction becomes hard. If I told you an addict to something, it may become hard for you to get rid of it, but it has to start with you as a person, because remember, your mentality towards something is going to help you out. The distraction comes when your mentality is already there. So you changing your mentality to something that is more helpful to you, it is strictly going to cut off that distraction, and you will slowly reduce the distractions, and you start focusing more on something that is going to give you a higher advantage, more so in the business.
And I agree with you. And then from me, I think try to find new ventures, supplementing on Paul's, find new ventures. If it's reading a novel, reading a book, try it out. It will help your mind calm down, and then find other things new in line that you can do in relation to your business. Or then you are asking yourself, how about relationships and friendship? How can I surely take on with that? For me, I can say it's always hard, to let people get out of our lives, but how are you playing that? How are you playing it the hard way, the simple way, or the smooth way? Because surely there are people who are willing to always help you out, get out of the relationship, other than keeping it to yourself. That is what I can say.
All right, now moving on, we have another business tip that says take frequent breaks. Now, similarly, it is as suggested earlier, you may take frequent breaks from work at regular intervals for a reasonable period, as breaks will refresh your mind and set you back on track. Now, if you think that sitting and starting at the spreadsheet for hours will somehow make you produce results, you're wrong.
Very well said. And also, when we move on to our other one, you have got to learn the best list making method. Well, how do you think people can learn the best list making method? And what's even list making? Things that I want, things that I need.
No, your flow. It's you in school. There is a timetable. What you're supposed to be doing. Go in in even workplaces, there's a timetable. That means according to the programming of the day, this has to be done in this particular interval. So now list making as a method only helps out in a way that you're going to avoid errors it's about prevention or avoiding errors, maybe in a business perspective, because when you're writing out something, then you know I'm going to do this at this particular time. So your list is to give you what you're supposed to be doing and at what time are you supposed to be doing it. Because with the list you will know if I am to go out at this time at work, then by maybe 7 I'm supposed to be home, or by 8 I'm supposed to be home. So clearly it's actually giving you a more broad perspective that, hey, if I am to carry on my business, maybe in most cases, if you look at the local shops, they do open up at 7, most of them 7 in the morning. So you create that space and maybe say, if in the morning I open up, then at 10 I'm supposed to be purchasing new things for my shop.
Or you create a list for your clients when you will be calling them, or even the time maybe you will check on the kids at home you left. If you're leaving very early in the morning, we do not want you to dwell on your business so much and forget the family if you have it anyway. But from me, what I can say is the writing, the list making method, you need to do it prior, maybe a day before or sometime before actually you're going to do that
before
particular.
Yes,
because if you're going to be on pressure, then you may end up doing a wrong schedule, I can say, or schedule, whatever way you call it. You're going to end up doing it wrongly, because number one, you're on pressure and you see that everything at that particular point is important and you do not want to miss it out. So that's why, at least in the night, if you're going for a service or production the next day, how about you give yourself a minute and then do that particular writing or to-do list at that moment in the night, so that your morning you have highlighted already where you're going to be starting from. I think that for me would be okay.
It gives you even helps you in your planning for the week. You said you do something before, prior to that, and it gives you a good time to actually plan for yourself, even to get ready for what is coming ahead. So that means the other things that come up become just by the ways. So you could actually have a way you can fix them into your planning, but when you already have your major plans already.
Yeah, very well. I do agree with that, and this one drives us to also, writing everything down that we were saying earlier, because it will help you actually not to forget what you want to do, because we have things that are on our top notch, like this is my first list, but then if I just wake up and then kick the blanket out, and I want to start rating or jotting them down, surely I'm not going to remember those important notes that I had or earlier. And this even goes to students, I think. Did you do summaries, or you were the type of person who just
it was part of us that the teacher would even cane us if at all we didn't have summary books. You'd get a small book and you divide it into two. You're supposed to write a summary. So with each topic that we have, you write at least something that you've picked out of it. Like you write the major points that are going to help you within time. And I think the teacher used to use our teachers in most cases almost used it as a way to make sure that the students are at least prepared. If at all the teacher comes out and says we have a test tomorrow, so that we don't panic a lot.
Yes, like you can say the panic, the pressure, so it reduces everything in case you write down or surely I have a to-do list. And that exactly brings us to the end of our business tips for this particular minute. And you're watching SMB in case you just joined in, which comes on your screen every Monday to Friday and also continuously on a daily basis like that from 7 to 11 in the morning. But also you expect a lot that will be happening around there, that is in regards of special reports coming on your screen, and also driven by a lot of themes where we bring to you business desk, which happens every Monday and Tuesdays, where you have not to miss business management entrepreneurs. Surely on Wednesday we do catch up and analyzing politics and business on Thursday, with celebrity talk on Friday, and also financial markets coming on your way. We take a break. We do return with now an expert analysis after the break in regards to our business desk, and we'll be looking at how communities can surely develop. Ritah Kabanyoro.
And I'm Jorram. Ssonko. This is